This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Kyle Bauer visits with Sandy Johnson about exercising our response plan when it comes to animal disease threats in the state.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with Sandy Johnson. She's emergency management coordinator for KDA. I have sat through a project that they have been doing for a number of years here in Manhattan, if you will, planning for that very bad day when something catastrophic could happen to the herd of Kansas and its livestock.
Yeah, we've been working on this since I've been in state government, actually, but over the years, we do an exercise every year in December to test our plans and SOPs, our procedures for what we would do in response to an outbreak of foot and mouth disease in North America. We start with an outbreak. Sometimes we start it here, sometimes we start in another country or another state, but we know if it happens on the continent, we are not just going to sit here and wait for it to get here. So a lot of the work we're doing is to mitigate the effects if it gets here or when it gets here, and to work with producers to help them prevent from getting it in their herds as well.
Your first exercise was in 2009, but then you had kind of a skip to several years. There was a reason why you had to skip several years after 2009.
In 2009, we did an exercise with the Midwest Partnership in Oklahoma on a checkpoint drill. So we learned a lot. Unfortunately, we learned so much, and so many things happened in those intervening 4 years. It took us until 2013 to have another exercise. But we had, changes within state government where animal health as a department was absorbed in the KDA. We had our move from Topeka to Manhattan, so we were looking at how does that affect our relationship with other state agencies. We learned a lot in the exercise in 2009 that just took us a long time to resolve in a way that was worth testing again.
And now it's truly an evolutionary project. As I sat through the meeting today, we're talking about small details that could mean a lot on that day, but trying to identify every possible problem.
Exactly. And if you're doing it I'd much be rather doing it today, when I'm comfortable, I have lunch, I have all the right people sitting at the table, than during an outbreak or something bad happening where there's a lot of stress, all the right people aren't there. I mean, for us to talk through a problem and take a couple hours is so worth it, because in an outbreak, we can do it in 5 minutes because we've already done it. And we've seen that every year with our exercises. Things happen much quicker.
There was more than 100 people in that room, and every one of those people had a vested interest or were probably going to be called on in case some sort of emergency like this happened.
Yes. So our team is more than half the agency. So all the employees that work here, they volunteer to do this. They're not required to by their supervisor or anyone. So that's awesome that we have such a great team here at the department. Our partners and other state agencies have always supported us at KDOT, the Highway Patrol, KDHE, the other state agencies. I mean, we definitely have. And a lot of that is because we've done this so many years in a row. They know their roles. They're comfortable with it. We have a little fun with it, but it's really very professionally done. We try to be as realistic as possible. And each year we're adding more industry participation as well. So to have an actual dairy or processor or a feed yard person, today we had a meat processor. I mean, to have folks, every year we bring more people into it, and it really helps us know what are those problems going to be.
We're visiting with Sandy Johnson. She's Emergency Management Coordinator for Kansas Department of Agriculture. I'm Kyle Bauer. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.